Hey, good evening, everyone. It's April 2nd, another edition of Resurrected Hope Ministry News and more. We're going to ask that you would see what you see, hear what you hear, and then ask God for wisdom and discernment to sort it all out. What makes the most sense about what's going on in the world today? I mean, there's a lot of stuff to process. But ask for that wisdom and discernment so you can see things that are happening. And God will give you that wisdom and discernment. If you're walking with God, he will give you that wisdom and discernment. Then ask him to be bold and brave and courageous in your faith, in serving the Lord, to be able to step out. Don't just pray and say amen and do nothing. See what God would have you do for his kingdom. Okay? So, April 2nd, a lot going on. I hope you guys had a wonderful Easter. Another bridge was hit. I don't know if you guys noticed it or not over the weekend by a barge in Oklahoma. It was the Arkansas River, I think, something like that. So two bridges got hammered within a week. And then CNN came out and reported that this isn't something that's unusual. I mean, it's happened in China and then again in Argentina just in the last 3 months. So they're trying to minimize it and distract that there is possibly something going on here, something nefarious and underhanded. Supposedly a lot of illegals were working on that bridge. I don't know who was running the boat. We may never know. Our government seems to have a way of hiding things that might look bad. So, you just have to remember when CNN's reporting on stuff like this that they hate Make America Great Again slogan and anybody that belongs to that. They hate the Christians. They hate people that are just conservative. And you're right-leaning Republicans because they can't use you. They've lost you. So just remember that. Keep those people in prayer. Maybe that God would prick their flesh and turn them around and bring them back another way, back to Christ. Did you hear that on Easter Sunday alone, while everybody was busy with family and worshiping God, that at least 1,000 gotaways came across the southern border? Did you hear that? Did you also hear that hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants are being flown in from their home country, wherever that home country would be, and 90% of those are being flown into Texas and Florida, who just happen to be the biggest fighters against this continual illegal immigration into our country. So this is kind of I don't know, is the way they're getting even with them? Is this, wow. I mean, this is a way to turn the state. Now they're saying that Florida can be flipped Democrat. Well, yeah, no wonder. Because there's another thing on the news with illegal immigrants. I'm just going to continue to beat this thing about illegal immigration because this is the reason that they want this. This is the whole reason. They know they can't beat Trump. They know they can't beat us because we're engaged. We're awake. We're not going to have the election stolen from us. So people are going to come out and they're going to vote, right? We're going to vote for Trump. He's going to be the next president. So not only are they working on this through the illegal thing, which I'm going to talk to you about in a minute, but they're also trying to embed like second and third tier people into positions that that'll make everything rough on Trump getting things done. And these are appointments that, Biden could appoint them right now, and they would have 3.5 years into Trump's administration. He can't get rid of them. Something in the Constitution or something. They can't get rid of these people. And they could be real problems for Trump getting things done. But illegal immigrants, we're talking about voting and the possibility of them voting. They're already voting. They're already voting in U.S. elections. There are very few states in their constitutions that explicitly outlaw illegals from voting. And the left is going to use that. That's why, not illegals, newcomers, sorry. Newcomers. It just makes your head want to explode you know, because that's the whole reason why these immigrants, illegal immigrants, are coming here. They call Biden Papa Joe. I mean, they're coming here in droves. They're being paid to vote Democrat, and they'll be voting this fall, guarantee it. So it's just amazing. And speaking of heads off of shoulders, did you see this about Trump? Unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, it's unbelievable. Putin calling up another 150,000 for military service. All men 18 and older must commit to 1 year service in the military or equivalent while they're in school in a higher education program. At the same time, this is going on. They're stepping up their efforts in Ukraine. And oh, by the way, Speaker Johnson's working on a package, relief package for Ukraine. And I also saw that Biden signed in something about $368 million for border security. Thank goodness. Oh, that's border security for the Middle East. Sorry about that. Not the southern border. Let them keep coming. Keep coming. Right? Bring your diseases and everything else. And we got to pray for this. You know, we got to pray. We got to pray for the people in Ukraine. Pray for the people in Russia. I mean, the governments might be corrupt over there, but the people aren't. They're like us. Just like the people in China. Their government's corrupt, but the people are probably good folks. I mean, we got to pray. They all need Jesus. And we need to wake up to the truth and let that truth be known. And we got to have fighters in Washington fighting for us. I mean, we're the ones that put them there, right? We're the ones that put them there. They need to be removed if they're not going to do their job. And did you see this? Bird flu, right? Bird flu's now in cows, goats, and even humans have been testing positive. So far, it's not fatal. That's the good news. And we're looking at New Mexico, Idaho, Michigan, Kansas, and Texas. And 10% or so, they're saying, of the herd are testing positive. They're saying the milk's not affected, according to the USDA, and we can trust them because they're a government agency looking out for you. And just remember, they passed that bill so they can have cow trackers to maybe control the meat consumption in this country. I don't know. Is this some kind of an agenda? Some kind of a backhanded way of maybe getting us into another COVID thing? Yes, it really is. It really stinks when you don't have a level of trust. Think about that. Think about in your own families, when you're in your spouse, a level of trust. If you don't have a level of trust there, then you've got a miserable situation. Or with your kids, your friends, people you go to church with. There has to be a level of trust, that foundation of trust and love. And we can't trust our government. We can't. They lie. They lie and they lie and they lie some more because they work for the father of lies, the devil. So we need to pray that there isn't some kind of hidden agenda behind this bird flu that's somehow now morphing into cows and goats and people. Do you remember, I don't know, it was a week or so ago, I said something to you guys about Chuck Schumer and the Democrats calling for Netanyahu's government to be overthrown because he's not going along with the program. He's not going along with having a ceasefire with Hamas and having a two-state solution with Palestine because he knows that they can't coexist. When there's peace, when Israel stops, then they'll start attacking. They can't attack right now because Israel's on the march. But Chuck Schumer was, saying, hey, maybe it's time for Israel to rise up and replace Netanyahu and his people and his government. Well, guess what? Within 2 weeks, people are protesting in the streets in Israel for the removal of Netanyahu. What kind of power do we have in this government? Seriously? Someone like Chuck Schumer can just say those words, and next thing you know, they're rioting in the streets to get rid of Netanyahu? I think it's kind of scary. We need to pray for Israel, guys. Keep them in prayer every day. They're just constantly under attack. You know, Netanyahu over there fighting, he's kind of like Trump here. I think by and large he does a great job. I think he loves Israel. I think he loves the people of Israel. And how dare he, right? He must not have went along with the program somewhere for them to hate him as much as they do. And, you know, I'm going to continue to beat this drum too. Did you have a happy Easter? I did. Wonderful Easter. Talked to Corey. Yeah. No, I didn't talk to Corey. I talked to Caleb. Betty and I did about God and Jesus. And you got to be careful because some of those topics are pretty heavy, you know, like Good Friday and what that was really all about, and the resurrection. And you got to be careful about that. So, you know, I can see him kind of glaze over when I'm talking to him about some stuff, and it's getting too heavy, so I kind of back off. But, whoa. Did you celebrate Easter, or did you celebrate Transgender Day of Visibility? I mean, come on, man. It's your chance to come out and let the world know. I mean, I know a lot of my buddies out here in the neighborhood that really want to be gals, right? Not. Well, it just so happened that this started in like 2009 when Obama was president. Imagine that. And it wasn't a proclamation by the government. I don't think some guy. It was March 31st, harmless. Well, it just happened to fall on Easter this year. And the Bidens came out and, you know, applauded it, thought it was great. The White House, same way, total support. Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, maybe some, you know, the left, they think it's great. Because it's all about destroying this country, the fabric of families, the Judeo-Christian way. You know, I saw Franklin Graham and other Christian leaders come out and just condemn it, totally condemn it, which it should have been. And you know what? If this was if anybody, 0% of people in this country should say Biden is religious. Well, maybe he is religious. He's not a Christian. And if he were true practicing Catholic, he couldn't have went along with this either. He should have come out and moved it and said that, you know, don't make it a date. Make it a day if you want to. Say Monday, the last Monday in March is Transgender Day of Visibility if you have to do that. Big deal. Not on Christian, not on Easter. Not on Easter. When I saw MSNBC and CNN, they were just frazzled because they're saying that the Republicans, the MAGA crowd, is pouncing on this transgender issue and like pouncing on it. I mean, now it's a holy day. Somebody has to stop that stuff. And so when they're saying that we're making a big deal about this transgender movement and all this stuff, I mean, there's just a fringe, just a minority of men that want to be women and that participate in women's sports. It's just just a fraction. And they lumped it all in with that Transgender Day of Visibility. And I'm thinking, well, if it's just a fraction, a small amount of people, why is the Biden administration in particular so hell-bent on promoting it, replacing Easter with Transgender Day of Visibility? So we're willing to smack down millions and millions of Christians in this country for a small fraction, as CNN and MSNBC say. Total agenda. That's what I'm calling a total agenda. And that I ask that you guys would pray for that wisdom and discernment to see what you see and hear what you hear. What makes sense? What makes sense to you guys? Because that doesn't make any sense. And like I said, this isn't about Republican or Democrat, right versus left. This is about good versus evil. This is about God versus the devil. And, you know, we all know, if you're a Christian, that God wins in the end. But pray that somebody that we have elected to represent us in Washington would wake up and represent us the way they need to be represented. And you know what? We have the power to replace them. The next time an election comes along, let's primary them out. Get rid of them. I would rather have somebody that has the desire and the will to follow Christ and the Bible, that's going to stand for that and not be corrupted, than to have somebody that's a career politician that's just going to go up there and basically ignore everything that we want, because we're the ones that elect these people. We are the ones. Oh, and then one last thing, I'm going to go, and then we're going to talk about weather and different things like that. But did you see that there's this hush money trial in New York on Trump, that the New York judge put a gag order on Trump? He can't talk about it. Well, the reason he put an extended gag order on Trump is because the judge's daughter is a left-wing socialist fundraiser, and one of her clients is Kamala Harris. I mean, this is just, I mean, do you guys realize what a witch hunt this whole thing is on Trump? Anything they can. See, what they're trying to do, they're trying to bankrupt him, throw him in prison, and ruin his life, destroy him, because he decided to come back, because he said the election in 2020 was stolen. He could have stayed in Mar-a-Lago and retired and golfed every day the rest of his life and lived out a wonderful, wonderful life, passed on his empire to Don Jr. and Eric and their families, and his kids and grandkids and great-grandkids would have been set forever. He could have just been an old man and faded away into a bliss, just into, total bliss. But he said, no, I'm coming back. I'm going to fight this thing. So the left came out, and they came after him, and they started in hammering him. One court case after another, suing him for hundreds of millions of dollars, and it just continues on, time and time again. And what the Supreme Court needs to do is say he has presidential immunity and shut it down. So the only thing the left has, if they can't shut Trump down from becoming the next president, they're going to have to cheat more than they've ever cheated in their lives. Bring on all the illegal immigrants now. Allow them to vote legally, right? And then continue to cheat with the vote, because they can't win. They cannot win fair and square, and they know it. So I don't know where it's going to go, but I ask that you would continue to pray for that whole situation, that all the Christians are out there. I thought I saw the other day there's 30 million unregistered Christians out there that aren't voting. If half of them would vote, it's over. Landslide for Trump, right? Need to stay vigilant. We need to be prayerful. There's supposedly great voter registration moves going on, going after these unregistered Christians that aren't voting. And how many Christians are out there that call themselves Christians that will vote for a Democrat? You're not a Christian. And how many Christians out there that aren't voting? I mean, if we would march in lockstep for Jesus Christ, like the left marches in lockstep for the devil, we would win every election, city, local, state, and federal, forever. It would be like having the founding fathers in charge again. Got to keep praying, guys, and then act. Do something. What can you can call? You can call your representatives. You can write them. Be a thorn in their side, right? Maybe you can serve in city council, school board, something. Let your voice be heard for Christ. We need you now more than ever. And listen, I want you guys be prayerful tonight. Bad weather rolling through. Kentucky's been hit. Oklahoma, I think, last night. It's heading our way about this time, so be prayerful that it passes right by, that no one would be hurt, no physical damage, no structural damage to the houses. We would all be safe. Okay? Lots of sports going on, but we're not going to talk about it. I had my impressions done for my teeth today, for my healing dentures, and on April 22nd, something like that, the surgery will happen, like a 3-hour surgery, and then I'll be able to smile again. It won't be my teeth, but hey, might be pretty cool. We'll find out. Anyway, listen, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Remember, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not into thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct thy paths. Joshua 1:9, have I not commanded you to be strong and of good courage? Do not be afraid or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Well, listen, I think the creek's going to rise. On our way driving from here to our dentist today, there's a lot of creeks rising. But God will be willing. If he is willing, I'll talk to you guys on April 3rd tomorrow. All right? Have a blessed evening.